Hi, and welcome to my channel, Internet Marketing Clan, where I share what I've learned over the past few years building successful passive income websites. My aim is to see you become successful, to teach step by step how you can do this yourself. It's also my hope that you can avoid the mistakes I have made as well. And today my video is going to be about answering the question, how long does it take to get traffic to your website? Now, if you find this video interesting, please remember to subscribe and click the bell icon below. So, if you built a blog and you want to get traffic to it, there are different ways of getting traffic. The fastest way of getting traffic is probably through social media, Facebook, Instagram. Post a link to your blog post on any of these social media channels. You should be able to get instant traffic. Reddit is another source. For more longer term sources of traffic, you're looking at things like possibly YouTube. If you have a YouTube channel, you can link to your blog and drive traffic that way, but that's a more longer term strategy. Email, if you have building an email list, which again takes a lot of work, it takes time to be able to do that. You can drive traffic to your blog, but you need to build a community. You need to build a list in order to do that. And then the main way I'm going to talk about today is Google search traffic. If you want to get sustained traffic to your website, then that is the primary way you need to go. Google is the largest search engine in the world. If you want to get loads of traffic to your website, that is probably the prime way you're probably going to go about doing it. So, how long does it actually take to get Google organic search traffic to a blog post? I've built a number of blogs, probably 5, 6 different blogs over the past 4 or 5 years, and consistently what I see is roughly between 6 to 12 months is how long it takes for a blog post to reach its kind of peak level of traffic. It can go higher than that depending on a number of different things I'll talk about later on, but roughly 6 to 12 months is what you're looking at. And I can show you a few examples of this. I'm just going to switch over to my search console for this particular blog. Now this blog post here was published back, it was just before, a few days before the first sort of rankings, around about middle of May 2019. And you can see for quite some time it just bumped along the bottom in terms of clicks and traffic. I'll take away the impressions so you can see the actual traffic it got. Its position, now this is not a keyword position, this is the average position for the whole post, but also gives you an indication of where those rankings were heading. So there's a sort of gradual increase for a number of months, and then round about the 6-7 month point, the traffic begins to climb. And this is something that I have seen consistently over the past few years, despite all the Google updates. This is just the way Google works. Some people call it the sandbox. Now, a whole website can be in the Google sandbox, which means that Google needs to learn to trust your website. It needs to see certain signals, trust signals, to give it the confidence to actually rank your website in Google search. If it's not seeing those signals, it's not going to rank your website. And this also takes time. But the same is true for every individual blog post as well. Every single blog post goes into a kind of sandbox where it's almost as if the brakes are on that blog post for a number of months. And roughly between 6 and 8 months, Google begins to let off the brakes, and you will be able to see that blog post soar in traffic, all being well, and it will roughly reach its peak level of traffic after about 12 to maybe 18 months. I've seen blog posts continue to grow up to that point as well. So that's one example. I have another here of a more recent blog post. So this one was published, let's see, it was September 2019. And so it hasn't had the full amount of time for it to reach its kind of peak level of traffic. And you can see for the first 2-3 months, there's very little happening at all. There's a bit of bouncing around at the beginning, then it settles at lower ranking positions, and then gradually it begins to rank a bit higher. All the keywords, the long tail keywords, they all start to rank higher. It bumps along at a certain level, and it's just beginning to grow. And I'm expecting probably around about June, July time this year, and this is 2020, obviously with coronavirus, people's search intent has changed a little bit, but I fully expect that blog post to really take off over the summer period. I have a much older post here, which was published way at the very beginning of 2019, beginning of January. You can see it bumps along with practically nothing till we get into March. And then it gradually grows. And once we get to the 6-month point, so around about July, you can really see it starting to grow. Then the reason for the dip there is the September update that some of you, if you've already built a website, you'll know that Google had a big update in September. A lot of blogs lost traffic, so my traffic was quite badly affected during that period, and I've seen some recovery. And in March, this post started to grow all of a sudden, until I'm now getting roughly about 150 visits a day, which in my estimation is pretty good for a blog post. If I get to about 1,000 visits in 1 month, that is a successful blog post. On average, I probably see maybe about 500-600 visits a month. This particular post is getting about 4,000 a month at the moment, which is really good for organic traffic. Now, one of the questions I'm sure maybe in your mind is, well, what can you do to speed it up? Some people will recommend that you build links to those posts, and that can speed up the whole process. In my experience, it does, but not by that much, to be honest. Building links is not really going to get you out of this Google sandbox for individual blog posts. It will, to a certain extent. I will admit it does speed it up a little bit, but in the big scheme of things, you're probably talking about by a few weeks, maybe 1 month. It will get you ahead by about that much. There is absolutely no doubt that links will help a blog post to rank higher in Google. Over time, you will be able to get more traffic, but what I always advise is that people think about the return on investment in these things. Yes, you can maybe pay somebody to do guest posting for you and get links that way. I don't advise other forms of link building, to be honest, but guest posts can be helpful. But you have to think of what return on investment are you going to get for that initial outlay that's something a lot of people forget about. They spend thousands and thousands of dollars on links, but will that blog post ever actually bring in the amount of traffic that they are expecting to see? The tactic I would probably follow is what I tend to do is I wait and see how a blog post is going to perform. If it has a lot of potential for much higher traffic, then yes, I would consider getting guest posts and links for that particular post, but otherwise I wouldn't. So I hope this video has been helpful to you today. If you would like to find out how I built a blog from scratch using no link building whatsoever that is now making over $1,000 in passive income each month, and also get tips on how you could do the same, click on the link in the top right of your screen now, and you can also find a link in this video description below as well. Also, if you'd like to be notified about future videos, please subscribe, click the bell icon below, and check out my other videos, and feel free to leave any questions in the comments. So thanks for watching, and keep pressing on with all of your projects. Never give up. Okay, see you next time.